Welcome back, and we're still on the Q&A with our guests this week, Mr. George Chua, President and CEO of Bayan Automotive Industries Corporation, which is a subsidiary of UMC that was specifically established to be the distributor and assembler of BAIC vehicles in the Philippines, and our motoring journalists, Vince Cornelis and Ulysses R. Uli?
Sir George, well, earlier you mentioned the complete lineup of BAIC here in the Philippines, and much earlier than that you did mention that Daimler is sitting on the board. Is there a technological tie-up that that Daimler is actually giving to BAIC, or any, say, design feedback with regards to the cars?
I would think that BAIC on his own has as its chief model designer somebody that they hired from Pininfarina and Ferrari. This guy actually designed 8 Ferrari models, no? And BAIC has its design center in Turin, Italy. So obviously, with the technologies that they've been able to learn from manufacturing E and C class Mercedes-Benz, then it teaches you a lot, no? So, but I don't think they're really relying too much on that technology, because they've been able to acquire technology from other sources, such as Saab, where a big portion of the platform of the Senova, the A5 series sedan that they have, came from. And at the same time, they do have a very extensive 150,000 square meter R&D facility in Beijing that is doing all of these tests. No? They are a technological leader in that they're also the only company that is actually operating a full electric vehicle for taxis in Beijing. They currently have 3,000 electric vehicles operating in Beijing. I think it helps that Daimler being in the board and being the assembler and manufacturer of and distributor of Mercedes-Benz in China, given the volumes, is certainly adding to their technical know-how.
With regards, sir, to volume, what is Bayan Auto looking at? What are you projecting for I guess the next 12 months in terms of the reception?
I would like to think that the vehicles can sell itself, no, in that it's got a good quality. It's something that I think Filipino consumers want and they deserve. So with that, we're maybe looking at initially starting off at 100 units a month, and then moving on to, several hundred as we move along, and maybe, in a short amount of time, maybe 1,000 units a month is really what we're looking at. Because I think that once people realize that it is such a good bargain, no? It's a marriage between quality and affordability, that the people will really find it a good value for money, and that they will have a better level of comfort with respect to owning such a vehicle, even though, as you say, it's made in China. Think about it, your iPhone is made in China, and it doesn't cause you any concern, right? So it's really a matter of establishing the benchmarks for quality that will give the consumer that level of confidence. So I think this will do well in the Philippine market.
Bayan Auto is a spin-off, if I may say so, of Universal Motors. And for those in the know, as far as the auto industry is concerned, Universal Motors owns this manufacturing facility known as Star Motors. Having said that, combined with what you said, that one of your aims is to come up with very, very affordable vehicles, is your direction going to local assembly?
Yes, actually we're exploring that possibility. We've already taken some people from the BOI to the manufacturing facilities of BAIC in Beijing. And we believe that anything that we can do to localize products to add to the manufacturing base of the Philippines is a good thing for us Filipinos. So once we find that there is a need, or it makes economic sense to assemble a specific model, then we will do so. And maybe once we realize that we can do, for example, like 300 units a month for a specific model, then that would be the first thing that we will do to go into a KD production, so that we can assemble it here and sell it in the local market and take advantage of the MVDP program of the Board of Investments.
George, you're lucky enough to have one of the last slots in the coming pre-Christmas test drive festival at the MOA. And a lot of people will be going there to test drive all the different brand new automobile models from all the different brands in the Philippines. Maybe you can you can give our viewers an idea what models you
Yes,
have?
actually, the people that will come and test drive it will, of course, be the normal crowds that go to the malls, particularly the Mall of Asia. No? So obviously, we will have the minivan available for them to test drive there. And if they're bringing their families with them, please have them all ride in the vehicle. There will be some people who will be looking for a second family car, that may be college students and things like that, or a father looking for something for his daughter. So we'll have the hatchback or the sedan there. We will have some retirees that find it difficult to drive bigger vehicles or can't afford to buy the more established brand name vehicle. So we will have the A1 series sedan and hatchback there as well.
Okay, remember viewers, that's November 6 to 6, 7, 8, 9, if I'm not mistaken, right? At the MOA. Test Drive Festival, pre-Christmas Test Drive Festival. This is just in time for your pre-Christmas shopping. Test drive all the vehicles you like, especially the of BAIC.
Thank you.
George, thank you very much. I know you're a very busy man, especially at this
My
stage of
pleasure.
the game.
Yeah.
Before we end this, would you take this opportunity to address our viewers, maybe to invite them to see your vehicles in your showroom? Please, the camera is yours.
Well, first of all, thank you, Butch, Vince, and Yul. I'd like to invite everybody to come and visit us in our temporary showroom at 2232 Pasong Tamo, where Universal Motors Corporation is. And I'd like to personally show you the vehicles that we have available. I'm sure that you will not be disappointed with these vehicles because we stand by every BAIC vehicle that we have in terms of quality. We have a 3-year, 100,000 kilometer warranty. And yes, financing is available at 20% down, 5 years to pay, which is the standard financing deal that you would get from any brand of vehicle, whether it's a more established brand or a higher end brand. No? So I think that you will be delighted with the vehicles that you will see and test drive. You will see the specifications for vehicles that are of that quality or that price range, such as a sunroof, and other innovative electronic features that will be making driving a pleasure for you. Thank you very much.
And that concludes the Autofocus Q&A this week. May I thank our guest motoring journalist, Mr. Vince Pornelas.
Thank you, sir.
Vince, and Mr. Ulysses I. Uli, thank you for joining us. And of course, our distinguished guest on Q&A this week, Mr. George Chua of BAIC or Bayan Motors. Stay tuned for more about the automobile and its industry here on Autofocus, the Philippine Motor Show on television.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll have more personalities relevant to the automotive industry on a spotlight on our future presentations of the Autofocus Q&A.